The house was unusually quiet that morning. Sunlight filtered softly through the curtains, casting warm patterns on the wooden floor. I was in the kitchen finishing my tea when I noticed my son, Ethan, pacing back and forth in the hallway. His steps were uneven, his breathing slightly faster than usual, and the way he kept pulling at the sleeves of his shirt told me something was wrong. Ethan wasn't a little boy anymore. He was 17 now, tall, thoughtful, and usually confident. But this morning, he looked like he was fighting a battle inside himself. His eyebrows were drawn together, his eyes unfocused, and he checked his phone every few seconds as if expecting a message that would save him. I let him pace for a moment, watching silently. I knew my son well enough to understand when he needed space and when he needed someone to step in. Today, he needed the second. "Ethan?" I finally said gently. He stopped mid-step, startled. "Yeah?" "You've been walking in the same circle for 10 minutes, I said with a small smile. "What's going on?" He hesitated. That alone told me it was serious. Ethan never hesitated unless he was scared to admit something. He took a deep breath, rubbed the back of his neck, and looked everywhere except at me. "Dad," he began quietly, I need help." Those words hit me harder than I expected. He rarely asked for help. He always tried to handle things on his own, wanting to prove he was growing up. So for him to say this, his voice must have been carrying more weight than he could bear. I stepped closer. "Help with what, son?" He swallowed hard. "My first job interview. It's today." His voice cracked slightly. "And I don't know what to do. I'm scared I'll mess it up." In that moment, I didn't see a young man. I saw the little boy who used to hide behind my legs on his first day of school. The boy who used to ask me to check under the bed for monsters. The boy who believed I could fix anything. Now he was asking for something far more important. Guidance. I put a hand on his shoulder. "Ethan," I said softly, "you don't have to face your first big moment alone. I've got you." His eyes finally met mine, full of fear, hope, and trust. And I knew this moment would change both of us. Ethan sat at the dining table, hands clasped together, bouncing his leg nervously. His interview was only 2 hours away, and every minute seemed to tighten a knot in his chest. I placed my coffee aside and pulled a chair up next to him. Today wasn't just about a job, it was about his confidence, his adulthood, his belief in himself. "Okay," I said, settling in. "Let's start from the beginning. What's the job?" He cleared his throat. "Customer assistant at Tech Mart? Nothing big." I chuckled softly. "Your first job is always big, son." He looked down, trying to hide a smile mixed with fear. I gently lifted his chin so he would look at me. "Ethan, confidence isn't about pretending you're not scared. It's about moving forward even when you are." His shoulders loosened just a little. I stood up and reached into a cabinet, pulling out a folder. Inside were notes I had kept over the years, interview tips I used to give my team when I worked in management. His eyes widened as I placed the folder in front of him. "You kept all this?" he asked. "For a moment like this," I said with a smile. We spent the next hour practicing. I played the role of the interviewer, asking him questions. "What are your strengths? Why should we hire you? How do you handle pressure?" At first, his voice trembled. He stuttered, fidgeted, and lost his train of thought. But every time he faltered, I didn't scold him. I guided him. "Slow down. Think before you answer. Believe in what you're saying." And slowly I watched something incredible happen. His answers grew clearer, his voice steadier, his shoulders straighter. The boy who had walked into the room drowning in anxiety was beginning to come alive. At one point, he answered a question so confidently that I couldn't help but grin. "See?" I said proudly. "You've got this." Ethan let out a deep breath. "I don't know what I'd do without you, Dad." Those words hit deeper than he realized. Being a father often felt like guessing, hoping you were doing enough, teaching enough, being enough. But in that moment, hearing him say that, I felt something warm in my chest, something strong. I placed a hand on his shoulder. "You don't have to do anything alone. Not while I'm here." The clock ticked closer to his interview, and I could see a new fire building in his eyes. Not the fear from before, but determination. He was ready, more ready than he knew. The engine hummed softly as the car rolled onto the quiet suburban road, the late afternoon sun casting warm golden streaks across the asphalt. My son's knuckles were white against the steering wheel, his shoulders stiff, eyes locked forward with laser focus. I could sense his nerves building again, the same way they had during the first 2 practice sessions. This was his first time actually driving on a public road, and the weight of that responsibility sat heavily on him. "Remember," I said gently, keeping my voice calm and steady, "you're in control. The car moves the way you guide it. Just breathe." He exhaled shakily. "I'm trying. It's just different out here. It feels real." "It is real," I nodded. "But that's exactly why you're doing great. You're not running from it. You're facing it." We approached the first stop sign. He pressed the brake too abruptly, causing a small jerk. He winced, embarrassed. "I messed up." "No," I corrected, "you learned something. That's what this drive is for." He looked at me quickly, surprised at my tone. Our relationship had always been close, but these driving lessons had changed something between us. He wasn't just my son in those moments. He was a young man learning to trust himself, and learning that I trusted him too. The road curved ahead, leading into a small roundabout. He hesitated. His breathing quickened. I don't think I'm ready for that." "You are," I said firmly but kindly. "And even if you aren't, I'm right here. You won't face it alone." He swallowed hard and guided the car forward. As we entered the roundabout, a slight tremor ran through him. But he kept the wheel steady, checked his mirrors like I had taught him, and exited smoothly on the other side. He blinked, stunned. I did it. A smile broke across his face, wide, genuine, liberating. For the first time that day, his shoulders unclenched. He didn't need my praise. He felt his own progress. "That," I said softly, "is why you asked for help. And this," I gestured to the open road ahead, "is what happens when you believe in yourself." He drove on with a newfound confidence, the sun shining brighter through the windshield, as if rewarding his courage. In that moment, I realized something. He hadn't just grown as a driver, he had grown as a person. And I couldn't have been more proud. The sky had shifted to a soft evening blue by the time we pulled back into the driveway. My son turned off the engine and sat quietly for a moment. His hands rested on the steering wheel, no longer tense, no longer trembling. Pride flickered in his eyes, but so did uncertainty. He wasn't sure what I thought of his performance, or what came next. Before he could ask, I placed my hand on his shoulder. "Step out," I said with a strange calmness. His eyebrows shot up. Did I do something wrong?" "Just come with me." He followed hesitantly, his face filled with questions. I walked to the back of the car and unlocked the trunk. Inside, wrapped neatly in brown paper, was a small box I had hidden weeks ago. Something I planned to give him only when he earned it. I lifted it out and handed it to him. "What is this?" he asked, confused. "Open it." He tore the paper slowly, revealing a sleek, leather-bound folder. Inside was his beginner's driver's certificate, along with a set of keys attached to a silver keychain engraved with his initials. He froze. Is this my own key?" I nodded, smiling. "Yes, it's not a car of your own, not yet. But it's the key to the family car. You've earned the right to take responsibility. You've earned my trust." His mouth fell open. For a moment, he couldn't speak. Then suddenly, his eyes filled with emotion, the kind that comes when a young man feels truly seen and believed in by the person who raised him. "But I thought I messed up today," he whispered. "You didn't mess up," I said softly. "You learned. You listened. You didn't give up even when you were scared. That's what matters. And that's why I'm giving you this." He clutched the keys tightly, as if afraid they might disappear. Then, in a rare moment that caught me completely off guard, he stepped forward and hugged me. A tight, honest, grateful hug. "Thank you," he murmured. "For helping me. For believing in me." I wrapped my arms around him, feeling the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about driving. This was about trust, responsibility, and a bond strengthened through fear, courage, and growth. As he pulled back, he looked at the keys again, his smile brighter than the porch light glowing above us. "What you did," he said with a shaky laugh, "really did shock me." "And," I replied, "this is only the beginning.